Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Boatner, Sales Director for Yanolja Cloud Solution in the USA. And today we are talking about automation and AI in the hospitality industry. All right. A little bit about Yanolja Cloud Solution. We are an end-to-end hospitality technology provider. One of the very few companies to offer global hospitality tech solutions. We empower small to mid-sized hospitality businesses with modern and affordable technology solutions. We are backed by Yanolja, which the travel tech unicorn of South Korea. YCS, or Yanolja Cloud Solution, has a stronghold on R&D and constantly innovating to benefit the industry. And we do develop technology solutions that are suitable for all sizes of the properties worldwide. And with that technology comes 24/7 live support, which includes implementation and unlimited free product training. Today, we're going to go through the North American hospitality landscape and challenges, briefly touch upon that. We'll talk about automation and AI basics so we can understand the key technologies that we're talking about. We'll discuss benefits and examples, give you some real-world applications and advantages, and implementation strategies. And then we'll talk about the future and move into what we call our fireside chat, where today I'll be speaking with Corey Morrison, who is the CEO of Maine Hospitality Management, LLC, and is one of the experts, I would say, in automation and AI in the USA for hospitality. So a little bit about where we're at right now. U.S. hospitality market by numbers. In 22, the average occupancy for the whole industry for the U.S. was 62.7. 23 was 63%, and then 24 we're at 65. Average daily rate went from 149 to 155, almost 156, and then in 24 we're at 158, almost 159. We get those numbers from SDR.com, Star Report. Expected market for this year, in the financial year 25, we're looking at $247 billion for the whole of the hospitality market. And that comes from Skift. Current challenges in the hospitality business, of course, with skilled labor shortages, finding and retaining skilled employees from chefs, housekeeping, has become a major challenge. Increasing expectations, competitive landscapes, and the need for personalized experiences. So let's talk about automation in hospitality. Let's define what this is. Automation in hospitality normally refers to if this, then that type software and their alternatives that use technology such as dynamic pricing, IVR call automation, and presence sensors to turn on lights, the AC, and even the TV. It can also refer to smartphone apps that enable mobile guest experiences such as the remote check-in, check-out, room access via Bluetooth, and of course, guest services. These apps do not store guest data and are normally not subject to security laws and regulations. Now, moving on to predictive AI, basically it's automation, putting the brain behind it, and you'll get artificial intelligence, again, AI. In the case of hospitality, predictive AI is where guest data is stored and used for future stays to make predictive decisions based on their history, such as room temperature, lighting, and other preferences. With AI, of course, you get not only operational savings, you get guest experiences that keep them coming back. So why automation and AI? Let's look at the numbers and what we've seen so far since this has become part of hospitality. Hotels leveraging AI for revenue management report an average of a 17% increase in revenue and a 10% boost in occupancy compared to those not using these systems. Approximately 93% of hoteliers report notable enhancements in efficiency following the adoption of technology and automation. AI can enhance business efficiency by up to 40% and reduce operational costs by up to 30%. Hotels utilizing AI-powered personalization see increase in guest satisfaction and loyalty, leading to a potential increase in repeat bookings and positive reviews. And close to 60% of workers in various industries, including hospitality, believe that automating repetitive manual tasks could save them 6 more hours per week, equating to almost a full workday of productivity gain. And those are just a few numbers. And to be fair, just so you know, I did ask AI or Gemini, Google's Gemini, to produce some figures for me, and this is what it came back with. The sources are below. We will be sharing this presentation, so you're welcome to take a look. Talking about the benefits, again, of AI, future-proofing, revenue growth, operational efficiency, and enhanced guest experiences. That's the high-level overview of what you're seeing, what you're looking for when you start using automation and AI. Personalized services, streamlined operations, dynamic pricing, and adaptability. So importance of automation in current hospitality. Let's just kind of go over this again, just to drive it home. Operational cost savings, enhanced guest experiences. You know, we have revenue management optimization, automating manual tasks, strategic factor in economic development and industries. So we'll move on past this one. This is just more going through reasons why. Again, personalized experiences, streamlined operations, and data-driven insights. To give some real-world examples, we have ChatGPT, which can handle hotel inquiries and bookings. We have dynamic pricing. We have our own product called Easy Mint, which will do that for you. It adjusts rates based on demand. Robotics, such as Hilton's Connie robot, and of course, self-service kiosks. Wanted to talk a little bit about one of our new products that is coming out currently. It's available for a few properties. Navigator. Navigator, if you use our products, you'll see it in the top right, or on the top in the middle there, little compass. It basically seamlessly integrates with the Absolute PMS. You can access it directly in the top bar, no separate login. Give an example of what it does. Core functionalities, you can ask it to view reservations for John Doe, and it will show you what it has. It allows you to assign rooms, extend stays, all by just typing in chatbot. It even has talk to text feature. What's really cool about it is that it can give suggestions and alerts. You can receive proactive suggestions and alerts for enhanced decision making and guest management, review analysis and reply suggestions. So it's a very handy feature. I used it myself and I was pretty impressed. And of course, it does reports. You can ask it, generate today's revenue report, and it'll give you numbers. So moving on to another product of ours, dynamic pricing, which is Easy Mint. This is just a screenshot of what it looks like. Easy Mint is backed by AI, and it uses historical data of the property, market trends, and seasonal patterns to recommend and update optimum room rates. It's designed to balance pricing, occupancy, and overall revenue, and can update prices for up to 58 days in the future. But dynamic pricing has been around for a little while. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the idea of it or have used it, but the numbers are pretty impressive. 15 to 20% increase in occupancy rates, 10 to 30% reduction in manual errors and overbookings. It's kind of a no-brainer once you start using it and realize its potential. We have a mobile app. Just to briefly show you that right there. Of course, you guys probably already know that. Most everybody does these days. Here's a brief look at our products. Absolute is our PMS. Centrix, our channel manager. Reservation, easy reservations for the booking engine. Panorama for websites. Easy Mint, again, for dynamic pricing. And we also partner with Fortis Pay for credit card gateway and payments. So, of course, how do we stand apart? That's the real question. Why choose Yanolja Cloud Solution instead of another provider? And again, we are a leader in the worldwide industry for hospitality, offering end-to-end integrated technologies. We've had over 17 years of experience and offer 24/7 customer support in over 170 countries. And we have, we're recognized in the industry by all the leaders like Booking.com, Agoda, Expedia, Airbnb, TripConnect, and Google. These are just a few of our clients. These are stateside. Yanolja, being based out of Surat, India, is a very big provider in Southeast Asia and Africa, and coming into Mexico and now the USA as well. So some numbers: 33,000 happy users worldwide, 1,500 plus users in the USA, 650 integrations, again, over 170 countries, 18 years experience, that's what it says here. All right, so this is what we're looking at for the future of hospitality. AI-powered predictive analytics, efficient hotel management, forecasting demand, and optimizing resource allocation. Smart hotel rooms, voice-activated assistants control amenities and personalized guest experiences. Secure blockchain technology, ensuring safe transactions and managing data within the hotel ecosystem. And even immersive VR experiences where guests can explore hotel tours and indulge in cultural immersion. So this is the point we're going to talk with Corey. And I have a few questions for Corey, and I think he'll be happy enough, kind enough to answer them. Corey, you there?
I'm here.
All right. How you doing today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me, John.
Yeah, of course.
I will get my
Again,
video going here for you.
Yeah. Again, Corey is the CEO of Maine Hospitality Management LLC. Corey is a user of Yanolja Cloud Solution. He's been using our products for the past over a year now, a couple of years, I think, right, Corey?
Yeah, almost 2 years, going on 2 years this July.
Yeah. And Corey has extensive experience in the industry, general manager or CEO. He is spearheading using automation and AI right now in Maine. And Corey, I'd be happy for you to expand upon that. Can you tell us a little bit more what you're doing right now?
So, first, to address a couple concerns that have come up in the industry and some of the feedback I hear from hoteliers is they're thinking that the automation and the AI would be impersonal and that the guests wouldn't like it. That's been one of the biggest challenges, especially with some small properties, is they think that it's going to take away from providing quality guest service. And I've actually seen the opposite and had the opposite feedback from guests. And that's why I think the automation piece and being able to connect that automation with the property management system, and then also bringing in the AI piece on the backside of it to help uh, personalize the guest experience is where hospitality is going. As an example, I had a property last summer in southern Maine that was 27 units. It was near the beach. It's a seasonal property. And we automated all the door locks with digital locks. The owner initially thought that guests wouldn't like it because they weren't going into the office to get keys, they weren't being greeted, and all of that. What actually turned out happening was guests were very happy by the fact that they could show up at 10 o'clock at night and they'd received a text message and email with their 4-digit code. And the automation piece is they could go to their cottage, put the code in the digital lock. It would then automatically check them into the property management system. It would alert the innkeeper that they had checked in. And what happened was the innkeeper was actually able to spend time by the pool, doing barbecues, interacting with the guests. And instead of being stuck in an office handing out keys as people were coming in, she was actually able to have a tablet and be out by the pool, interacting with guests, making suggestions, places to go. That automation piece saved a considerable amount of time. guest satisfaction scores went up, and the guests were actually happy that they didn't have to worry about losing their key at the beach because they didn't have to carry a key with them. So that piece was then tied in with the mini splits with the PTACs that were in the units. So when the guest was going into the unit, we could actually set the temperature prior to the guest's arrival. So the automation workflow was sending out a text message and asking the guest what they wanted the temperature to be in their unit when they arrived. So if it was 100 degrees outside and the humidity was 100%, we could actually set the air conditioner in the unit to 70 degrees 30 minutes prior to their arrival. So those are some of the automation pieces. Um, One of the things that you touched on is labor shortage. I can tell you right now that we're overseeing a 81 room property in northern Maine. It's in a remote town. And right now, actually, I think 2 of my 4 employees are on the call today. Um, we're running the property with 4 employees. And that's because we have the benefit of Easy Absolute and some of the technology that's coming in. We are working on expanding some of that AI to work with the automation. So as you mentioned earlier, I think it's important to point out that automation and AI are 2 separate things. And a lot of times people are hearing AI and automation and they think it's all the same. There's a lot of automation pieces that can be done that will integrate with Easy Absolute that don't require storing the guest data because all the privacy concerns and some of those things, it's a matter of where that data is stored. I believe that AI is the future of hospitality, and the guests actually enjoy the fact that when they come back to a property, the property itself remembers what they like the temperature set in their room. So they don't get a follow-up email saying, "Hey, what do you want the temperature at?" The computer automatically knows that from their past experience.
Predictive AI. Yeah, it's great. So what you're talking about there, of course, starting off with digital door locks, um, and of course they become increasingly common. And I appreciate your feedback on that. So also you touched on smart hardware in the hotel rooms, right? That's what we're talking about when it comes to air conditioning and that kind of thing. And that is automation that can be tapped into historical records to become the AI part of it. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's 2 pieces there. With, for example, with a Mana PTAX, you can have the digital thermostat. You can have the mini splits will have the digital thermostat. So there's 2 different pieces that you can do with that automation. You can have just the plain automation, so you can have it set up so when a guest puts their code into the door, it would then turn on the PTAC. And then when the guest would go to check out of that unit, they would put their 4-digit code in plus the hashtag, and that automatically checks them out of the PMS. When that happens, you can have the automation set up to automatically shut off the PTAC or turn the temperature down to 50 or 60 or whatever temperature you want. There's that automation piece. And then taking it one step further, if you've implemented the AI aspect of it, and you're maintaining those records from that guest in that guest profile,
Mm-hmm.
if that guest makes a reservation a year later, that's where the AI comes in. Is if you're
Right.
using AI to pull that data and look at what the guest had the temperature set at, say the guest came in at 3 o'clock on July 4th and they had their air conditioning set to 70 degrees, but when the guest goes to sleep at night, the guest turns it down to 60 degrees and they normally go to sleep at 8 o'clock, the brains behind it, the AI is going to look and say, okay, and it will automatically do those things for that guest based upon that guest profile.
Right.
So there's 2 different ways that the property can use it, and I think uh, from a small independent hotel, you can start small and expand. You don't have to go all out initially. There's also products out there that can control the shades, they can control the water, it can control the TV. So there's automation pieces that can be put in place that can collect that data for you if you choose to go with the AI piece to enhance your guest experience. So there's multiple ways that a property can go about it. They don't have to go in 100%. They can start small and grow.
Right. Right. So, in your experience, what are some of the key principles to keep in mind to ensure these technologies genuinely enhance guest experience? rather than detracting from the human touch. Where AI is truly enhancing and not supplanting what people see as that human part of it.
I think the key to that is having guest relations staff. Essentially, once you automate the locks and things like that, you don't have to have somebody stuck behind a traditional front desk. That person can be out and about in the property interacting with guests. They can be out in the parking lot picking up trash, greeting guests when they pull in, and having that human interaction. There's always going to be, for safety reasons, there always has to be a human being at the property. 24 hours a day, there has to be a human there, just for fire and safety reasons.
Yeah.
That person is now cross-trained to be able to go and help do laundry, prepare for breakfast, go and help over in the lounge, pick up towels at the pool. And you don't just have a front desk agent who's standing there answering the phone. And that's the other piece of the AI is with generative AI, you don't have to have somebody answering your phone. You can have generative AI answering your phone, and that generative AI can then put the reservation into the property management system using some of the technology out there. Um, and there's a process in place that if the person on the call needs help, that it can be transferred to the human being. So I think part of the key is to make sure that there's still a human presence and that person is cross-trained and it's not just somebody who's normally your maintenance guy or your housekeeper. It's somebody that knows the hotel inside and out. So you're able to take the skilled labor that you have and use them in multiple areas, and the guest enjoys knowing that, hey, this person who greeted me in the parking lot is the same person that's coming over and making suggestions at the pool of places to go and eat for dinner. So it's using your staff wisely and using the resources that you have to cut down on your labor costs. And the automation piece with the savings on electricity and being able to shut down the temperature and shut off the power in the rooms and things like that, as well as controlling water flow, all of that's going to save money. So while there's an
Right.
initial outlay for the hardware, long term, your ROI is substantial.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. So beyond um, what we've touched upon with the digital locks, using AI with telephone, some of the smart hardware in the rooms, are there other AI features or automation, maybe like kiosks or mobile check-in kind of thing that you have experience with that is positive in your view? There's a lot coming out
Uh,
our way. I'm just kind of curious.
yeah, there's a lot of I mean, it's an evolving process.
Hmm.
The technology nowadays, especially with AI, right now I'm working with AWS, and we're trying to develop concierge, a chat concierge, and we've been sampling it up in the northern part of Maine, and I've been in awe at the things that this chatbot has done and the things that the chatbot is able to provide me when I ask the chatbot, what is there to do by the hotel? It, within a matter of seconds, it rambles off stuff that I didn't even know existed in the area. And it's getting that data off from Google and off TripAdvisor and Expedia, and it's going out and it's pulling all this in an instant that no human could come up with. I mean, some of the stuff it was giving me, I was like, wow, I didn't even know that existed up here. Um, so the ability to cross sell and to be able to upgrade a guest experience is amazing. Because even having a staff person answering the phone, like I said, the staff, there's no way I could train a staff person to know everything there is to do within a 50-mile radius of the property. Not only that, because we're in a remote part of Maine, hiking, backpacking, whitewater rafting, canoeing, fishing, those are all activities that are outdoors. The chat bot that we've been sampling, when I told it I was interested in hiking, it asked me a follow-up question and said, would you like to know the things that you need to take with you while hiking? I didn't prompt the
That's
chat bot
handy,
that.
right?
The chat bot automatically asked me if I want to know a list of things to take with me hiking. So it's providing information to the guests that I don't think any staff person would normally think to provide. And
Yeah,
from a
for sure.
guest standpoint, like I said, I was in awe.
Yeah, absolutely. The idea of generative AI chatbot, which is capable of answering virtually any guest question and getting feedback, like you say, that they didn't even anticipate, is quite compelling. Um, what do you see as the biggest opportunities of it? When I know you've discussed a lot of the opportunities here, but also hurdles in deploying such a sophisticated chatbot. I assume like maybe training on how to use it as a front desk staff, when to use it, when not to use it, and to effectively handle guest inquiries and requests while maintaining accuracy and helpful, welcoming tone. I know that a lot of generative AI out there allows you to customize it with voice and that kind of thing, but do you see any kind of hurdles you anticipate uh, there to be when in deploying this in a hotel?
Well, I think so. There has to be a knowledge base and there has to be a setup of the actual generative AI chatbot.
Hmm.
One of the nice parts about the product that I'm working on is with Easy Absolute, each of the properties has a hotel code. So the goal is that if you're using Easy Absolute, the hotel owner would create a user that would be chatbot one, chatbot two, and have a password just like you would with a regular employee. Using that hotel code and using that username and password, that's what that chatbot's using to sign into Easy Absolute. So all the data that's being put into Easy Absolute and to the other Easy products, that chatbot would then have access to just like a front desk agent would. So again, it comes back to the initial setup of Easy and making
Yeah,
sure that the hotelier and whoever's doing that initial onboarding and everything has the data in there of what time is the pool open, what time is breakfast, what's available for breakfast. Do you allow dogs? Do you allow cats? Can I bring my iguana? Those things, the property up in Millinocket, I have a 9-page PDF of all the terms and conditions for the property that are available on the property website. But I've also the chatbot has access to that. So all those common questions are on this information form, which is also the same form that I would give to a human front desk person, so they would learn the property rules and policies. Um, so I think that's one of the big hurdles is making sure that number one, it's easy for the hotelier to implement and that you don't have to have a computer degree or know how to do coding or anything like that. That it's just a plug and play. You sign up for your chatbot and you create a username for them and they log in with your hotel code and it pulls all the information from your system.
right,
Um, Otherwise, if it hoteliers, especially for small mom and pops, they don't have the time, the money, the staff to sit there and do what we're doing on the back end to try to make this product available. And they're not like a Hilton or a Hyatt that they have all kinds of staff in the back end that can do all the programming for them. So I
right.
think that's one of the things that Easy is able to eventually bring to the table and say, hey, here's the generative AI, and it's helping independent mom and pops be competitive.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I think a phased implementation is the best way to go with smaller properties, like you mentioned, one step at a time.
And
Those are my questions.
the
Go ahead.
well, the other nice part, John, is with the generative AI, it keeps a record of all the conversations. So
Mhm.
a hotel owner can go in at the end of the day and look at all the phone calls that came in, and it will flag if the chat bot wasn't able to answer a question. So you can then go in and put the answer to that question into the knowledge base for that chat bot if you need to. So it provides good analytical information on what the guests are asking for when they call. If you find out that 5 times a day your chatbot's answering the question of do you serve beef at breakfast, if you have somebody coming in from a country that doesn't eat beef, you might say, okay, well, this might be something that I need to look at from a hotel standpoint is what type of protein am I offering for breakfast? So that's the other nice part about it is you don't get that type of data with a human answering your phone. You don't have you don't have a front desk person who's sitting there taking notes every day going, okay, well, I had 5 people that called and asked about what we serve for breakfast.
Right.
With the generative AI chatbot, it's keeping that data for you.
Yeah, and it can identify the trends like that.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Well, those are my questions, and I'd like to go ahead and open up the floor to our attendees to see if they have any questions for us. There should be a feature for the question and answer. If anyone has something they want to ask Corey or myself, you can go ahead and put it in now. And so far, no questions. So maybe we've done a good job of answering their questions already, Corey. Or you have.
I hope we have. And like I said, if anybody has questions, they're free to ask. And I think if you go down to the bottom of the screen is where the Q&A little icon is, and there's also a chat icon, or there's a raise a hand icon down there if anybody has any questions.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and call it good. Thank you so much for attending, everyone. And Corey, thank you for
Thank you for having me.
being with us today. Absolutely. Okay, guys,
Thank
signing
you.
off
Have a good
for
day.
Yanolja Cloud Solutions. I'm John. That's Corey. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.